Hey everybody, AC here, and welcome back to another episode of Anime Season 8. Yes, Season 8. I forgot what season we were at. It's been a couple days since I last recorded. But this is going to be we are talking about number 17 and 16, I believe. Number 17 and 16. Yes, that is indeed correct. And number 17 and 16 is Philo from Shield Hero, Rising of the Shield Hero, and Nezuko from Demon Slayer. And the main reason for these two is simply because the main reason why they're here in this position is simply because they are in a very weird kind of middle position where they are where Philo, for example, she is not human. She is technically a giant Choboko. She's technically a giant Choboko that just takes the form of a human, for convenience sake, but that is not her real form. And then Nezuko, technically, it is technically all ages in one, because she can technically alter her size and age at will. So she could be a small, adorable little being at one moment, and then the next moment she's a fully grown woman. So she is technically all ages at once. She's in this really weird state, where, whenever she looks like a child, she's adorable. She's just so cutest character in the series. But she doesn't always look like that, and it's the same thing with Philo. In fact, in both situations, they take as many opportunities as possible to have Philo in her true form and have Nezuko look like an adult. Like, they take every opportunity to do that. So we don't get to see them as, like, in their children form as often. So that's why they're kind of in this position, but they're, when they are in their child forms, they are absolutely adorable, and I couldn't put them any lower than this, but I can't have them any higher either, for those reasons. So they're kind of stuck here in the middle, batch. But that said, if I had to pick, I would say Philo would be number 17 and Nezuko would be number 16, if I had to pick. I absolutely love both of their series. I love Rising of the Shield Hero. I'm so excited for Season 5 coming out supposedly this fall. Supposedly Shield Hero Season 5 is supposed to come out later this year in the fall. It should start in October, and I'm very excited for that, because we are finally going to see my favorite arc, which is going to be the battle against the Phoenix. I love that arc from the light novel. Absolutely love it. I am looking forward to seeing that in animation. And to anyone who has read the light novel, people know what happens after that. A certain punishment. Someone who gets their just desserts. Someone who finally gets their comeuppance. And I am so looking forward to that. Oh, that is going to be so satisfying. So that is going to be so satisfying to finally see this particular character get what they deserve. And yeah, so I'm very much looking forward to that. And then Demon Slayer, love that series. Gorgeous animation, like top tier shonen animes. Like among all of my favorite shonen animes, like Demon Slayer certainly ranks really high in there. Definitely top 10. I don't know if I'd put it in the top 5. I'd have to really think about it, about like what animes qualify as shonen battle animes, um, and which ones are my favorites. But definitely top 10. Definitely in my top 10. Um, I I only wish that the final arc had gotten its own season instead of instead of 3 movies, because I didn't even watch part 1. I like part 1 of the Infinity Castle came out, did not watch it. I did not watch it, and I'm not going to watch it not until part 3 not until part 3 comes out. Once all 3 are out, um once all 3 well, basically once part 3 is about to come out, once the dub of 3 is about to come out into US theaters, then I will look up the dub for parts 1 and 2, and I will watch both of those in dub, and then I will go see part 3 in theaters when it's dubbed. And that is just my plan, because I hate that they decided to split this up into 3 movies. I would have much rather have seen I would have much rather have seen this be a full season. And you know, this is the longest arc in the whole series. This is the longest arc in the whole. This is the longest arc in the whole series. This is the longest arc in the whole series. Um, and splitting it up into 3 movies that aren't even 2 hours long. Like they're not even 2 hours long. I think part 1 was like an hour and 40 minutes, but you also have to take into account like end credits, which usually take up a good 5 minute, which usually take up a good 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how many people worked on it. For anime movies, it's usually about 5 minutes. Um, so, oh dear. Hold on. I need to plug in my. Where is it? Here it is. There we go. Had to plug in my keyboard. I had to plug in my keyboard so I could so I could keep that charged. But yeah. Anyway, uh, so this is an incredibly long arc, and having 3 movies that are each going to be roughly the same length. So we have like roughly an hour and 35 minutes, roughly 95 minutes of content, 95 minutes of content. Um, and if we take into account the fact that uh, each episode each episode of each episode of an anime is roughly 23 minutes, we're looking at roughly 4 episodes worth of content. We're looking at roughly 4 episodes worth of content in each movie. That's roughly 12 episodes worth. That's 12 episodes worth. That's a whole season. And that's not including all the cut content, because with this being the longest arc in the whole series, there's going to be some content that's going to have to be cut in order to condense it into three films. Some content is going to have to be cut in order to condense it into 3 films that are 95 minutes each. So all that cut content would most likely fill up another 2-3 episodes. Would most likely fill up another 2-3, maybe even 4 episodes. And I really think that this should be its own season. I really do believe this should be its own season. We had season 1, which was 26 episodes. Season 2 was split into two arcs. The Mugen Train arc, which had 7 episodes, and then the Red Light District arc, which had 11 episodes. So season 2 wound up having 18 episodes. The exact same thing happened for the exact same thing happened for season 3. The exact same thing happened for season 3, which wound up having another 18 episodes across the 2 arcs that it covered. So another 18 episode season would have been fine. Like, have another 18 episode season to cover the entirety of the Infinity Castle arc, along with the War for the Dawn arc. Like, have a whole season dedicated to the final dedicated to the final 2 arcs of the series. And as I said before, 12 episodes plus potentially another 3 or 4 episodes. That's 16 episodes. What could they do for the last? They do for the last 2? Well, the last two episodes could focus on the epilogue arcs, like the arcs that not the arcs, the epilogue chapters, the chapters that we got after the story was ended that show like what's been going on in the future with all of the descendants of all the characters. You could have 2 episodes dedicated to that, or 1 episode dedicated to that, and have another episode be like a double length episode. Have like a double length episode, because that does happen. There are plenty of animes that have double length episodes. But have a double length episode showing the short arc between the Water Hashira and Flame Hashira, because there's a short arc involving the 2 of them going on an adventure together, and you could have a double length episode covering that as the final episode. So yeah, there's better ways you could have done this. There's better ways they could have done this than split it up into 3 movies. And it'd be one thing if we got like 1 movie 1 year, and then the very next year we got part 2, the very next year we got part 3. Release it at the same way Peter Jackson did the Lord of the Rings and Hobbit trilogies. Release 1 every year. But no, we got oh god, when did Infinity Castle Part 1 come out? Was that 2024 or last year? I can't even remember. And Demon Slayer Infinity Castle. Infinity Castle. Infinity Castle 1. Okay, that was July. Last year. That was July last year. And currently there is no release date for part 2. The estimated release date is winter 2027. Except winter in Japan starts in January the following year. For us, it starts in December, but for them, it's the following year. It's the following year. So that would technically that would mean that we could potentially be waiting until 2028. 3 years. We could potentially wait 3 years to get part 2, and then another 3 years to get part 3. So 2031 or 2032 potentially, even at the latest. We could be sitting here waiting for another 6 years before we finally have the whole trilogy, when they could have just made a single 18 to 20 episode season to cover everything that's left. Like, they could have easily done that, and that would have been so much better. Like, I do not like the way they handled this final arc. I do not like it. I do not approve of this. If you're going to adapt an arc of a manga into anime form in the form of a movie, it has to be an arc that is short enough for one movie. It has to be short enough for it to be covered in a single movie, like how the Mugen Train arc was. That was fantastic. So, yeah. Anyway, that's all I got. That's all I got for this one. So, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did enjoy it, please like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, all that good jazz. And I will see you all in the next video. Take care, everybody.